Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
The Ramble with Alex Bennett. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern on GabNet.
Who is Damian Chaplin? To begin with, he's host of the second oldest program on GabNet, doing The Exchange since 2014, 4 days a week for 25 minutes each night. Now, that has all changed. Welcome to the new Exchange. 1 day a week, but now for a full hour, or longer if he wishes. You see, there are no other programs on Monday night, his new slot, so he's all alone and can do whatever the hell he pleases. Of course, with no other GabNet offerings on that night, you might forget he's there. Well, don't, damn it. It's an immersive, interesting, and informative fare that's worth going out of your way to hear. Plus, he needs you to fill out his citizen panel. Damian Chaplin's new day and time are, now jot this down, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Exchange with Damian Chaplin, the loneliest man on GabNet. By the way, did I say Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time? GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Jack Bishop's Intersection. Tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet.
Now more than ever, it's a breeze to listen to all that GabNet has to offer. Just go to gabnet.net, and along the top of our easy-to-use webpage are a series of links to all the services that carry our latest offerings. Click on YouTube, Facebook, and Vimeo, and you'll be taken to video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. Tap on TuneIn, and you'll go to our 24/7 feed of all our programs, plus a real-time stream when our shows are live. For those of you who have a Roku device, click and you'll be taken to a page that will install our GabNet app, so you can enjoy our channel, which is rich with features that go well beyond our daily programs. Then, for archives of all our recent shows, press the Spotify, Pandora, or Stitcher tabs. Finally, Alex Bennett can be heard via the iHeart button. But if you're not at your computer, just download the app for any of these services and you'll find us there. Mobile. Of course, all GabNet shows are on iTunes. With all these options, you have no excuse not to listen to GabNet, unless you'd rather listen to one of those millions of other people who have podcasts. In which case you can blow me.
Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, it says Alex, it says The Ramble. That must be us, and we're here until midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States. And a happy new week to all of you. And this is my new shirt. 81 years. Okay, 81 years. I'm going to keep buying these until I can't buy them anymore. That's morbid. Anyway, hi, how are you? This is Monday. And on Monday, we kind of do something a little special. It's not special. I don't know if we would call it special, but let me show you who we got here. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and attractive Phil Meyer. How are you, Phil?
All right. I just heard that Tony lost his mom.
Oh, you just heard. Oh,
I want to express my condolences.
Yeah, I guess I should have written you about it.
Alan called me and said that he was listening to your Monday show.
Yeah, the Monday show. Right.
And, that's where you mentioned it.
Yeah. Tony lost his mom to COVID. First death. Do I know anybody else? Do you know anybody that's died of COVID?
A couple of people I knew. I wasn't really close with, but I knew them.
Yeah. This is the first one I think that I really have didn't know her, but I know the son. And I felt really bad about it. Really bad about it.
Me too. It's really unfortunate.
One of those kind of things that just, you go, it's not right.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's fair in life. But the good news is I'm 81 years old. So,
and you don't have COVID.
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna get the injection.
Yes, I'm getting the injection on the 20th.
Okay.
Now what they did, they keep changing the rules every day, and it kind of worries me. Okay, because it was being 80 years old or 81. Those over 75 were supposed to be in 1B, and 1B wasn't supposed to hit until I figured the middle of February, maybe.
Yeah.
But instead, it came last Monday, and we signed on through a hellacious system here in New York.
I heard about that. Like 51 questions.
I don't know. Was it 51 questions?
I think that's what the news said. Now,
for Passover, you only get 4 questions.
Well, Jews get a discount.
Yeah.
But when the California and New York are both having issues with the rollout of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Of the people that were eligible, only 36% took the vaccine in New York and 34% in California, or the other way around.
Well, I don't know exactly how many did and didn't. Okay, all I know is that we knew that on Monday we would be able to sign up because we were over 60, over 80, over 75. Right. Both Marjorie and I. So she got online at 3:15 in the morning, and it was hellacious. She couldn't get onto it. And then I went and tried it, and it wasn't working either. But then they had a thing that said, or you can go to this link. So I went to that link, and there I started being asked the hellacious amount of questions. The worst question was, it was a list of questions, okay? And you had yes and no. And you had to click yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Well, there was, for the most part, there were only 2 of them you would have to answer yes to.
Mm-hmm.
One of which was whatever was applicable to you. Like, do you work for the police department? Do you do this? Do you do that? And then there's one down at the bottom that says, are you 75 or older? And I went, yes. But I had to do no. You would think if somebody wrote this thing right, they would just have you have yes, and you just answered yes to the questions that were applicable to you.
My mother must have written the questions, because anytime I asked her something as a kid, she would always say no. So I didn't get the question.
But it was maddening because there were about 20 of those.
Yeah.
And finally we get all the way over, and then we got to pick the place to do it. And there's the school down the street where we voted is the place they're going to be doing it. and they had like 3 days open. None up until that date, and 3 days after that, nothing. Now, I don't know why 3 days after that, nothing. Maybe they just weren't booking past that point. But we booked in, and we got the 20th at 1:10 p.m.
Well, I think that's great.
Well, then they sent me a letter saying, and the day of the thing, ready for this? The day of the thing, you will get a notification by email, and it will send you someplace where you have to answer some more questions.
Wow.
Okay, and then you will be given a what do you call those? One of those things, those squares with the stuff in them. You know, the QRs. QR.
Oh,
yeah. You'll be given a QR. You will not be admitted unless you have an ID number or the QR. Well, I have an ID number, so I can just bring that with me. But I hope I get the other part of it okay. Otherwise, it said your inoculation may be delayed. That's so ambiguous, maybe.
You think there's a chance that they're going to use Clorox?
Who knows? And then I don't know about the second shot, because what they're doing now, and this is the CDC, which I think is...
Or 4 weeks, depending on which one it is.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be Moderna, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think you don't know till you get there.
4 weeks?
Huh?
Is Moderna the 4 week? And
Moderna's the 4 week. Yeah, the reason I think it's going to be the Moderna is I don't know that this high school has a freezer that has that kind of capacity. Although they may have installed one for this. I don't know.
But the Pfizer came with its own freezer.
No, it comes in a box with dry ice, and then you put it into a freezer that's 100 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so it might be Moderna. It doesn't matter. They're both about the same. I don't think there's much difference. But then you have to go back and make an appointment to do the 4 week, if that's the case, or the 3 week.
Do you have to go back online, or do they give you the...
I have no idea. I'm already registered online, okay? So every time I go to that place now, it just simply has my appointment availability. So at that point, it may just say, sign up to go here to sign up for your next shot. It may do that. I don't know. I have no idea. But the thing that's terrible is what the CDC has done is they said, well, we just want to get so many people injected. We're just not going to hoard a whole supply for the second one.
Well, that's because the rollout hasn't been going as planned. And I guess the science has changed because now they're opening up your economy and they're doing it because they can't wait any longer. It's gonna kill the economy. It's strange. It's very funny.
Well, we've got to kill the economy as long as it doesn't kill people.
But there's a spike now, and Cuomo's opening it up now. De Blasio, on the other hand, I was really the first time I ever saw him say anything sane, which was, "Hey, we have so few people taking the vaccine that we're just going to give it to other people that are."
Well, what he did is he a couple of days ago asked the governor to change his mind about who could get it and who couldn't. He said people over 75 should start getting it. Okay.
But the governor shot him down.
Didn't shoot him down. No, that was just finally the governor. We now got a thing from the governor saying, well, actually, it's gone down to 65 and over.
Yeah.
And the reason it has is the CDC said 65 and over. But the problem is you got to get that second shot. Now, it's at a minimum of, say, 4 weeks or 3 weeks, depending upon the company.
Right.
But there's no maximum. So I guess you could wait for the second shot, but you don't want to wait too long. So the question is going to be what gives with the second shot? Because the government now has decided they want to release everything, even the stuff they have for the second shot, out there so that people can be inoculated. I guess, I don't know, it affords us, 70% protection without the second shot?
I don't know that they tested it with just the first shot.
Well, I read somewhere it was 52% effective. okay, or something like that. And then somebody, I think it was Brian, said it's more like 70% effective. And I imagine if you get COVID, it probably mitigates it a bit, I would imagine. But I want to get that second shot, and the government's going to go releasing all the the CDC is doing this, and of course Biden's not there to be not president yet, so he can't yay or nay it,
They're making more. It's not as if they're
but are they making enough? You see, you got to realize that if we say we want 300 million people to be inoculated, well, that's really 600 million doses because it's 2 shots. But I mean, Cuomo was going crazy today over the fact that here's what they said, the CDC. It's now 65 and over. And he said, well, that presents a real problem to us because we only get 300 a week, all right?
300
300,000 doses. 300,000 doses. He said, so that presents a problem if you're now adding 65 and over. And then they added another category. And this one is really, I don't know where do they get these guys for the CDC from? The local, the Johns at a local whorehouse? I mean, come on. They said, and anybody who might have something that gives them low immunity.
You mean that they're compromised?
Well, they have a compromised immunity. Well, you know who that includes, among other people? Cigarette smokers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and other people who you just go, well, wait a minute, alcoholics. They probably have a compromised immunity. I mean, they just said compromised immunity. They didn't make rules for what is a compromise, a compromising immunity. It's just so. I mean, this thing. I just want to get that first shot in my arm. I'll worry about the second one.
Yeah. Well, blame Trump.
And then you wait. Then you go 3 weeks before it. You go about 2 weeks before you have immunity. You don't have immunity the minute you walk out the door.
Yeah. My mom lives with my sister, and my sister lives in Tennessee, outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
And their county only gets 300 tests a week or a month. I'm not quite sure. So she's 92. My sister signed her up, and there was 700 people ahead of her. So she thinks it's going to take a month before she gets called up.
Well, Shecky signed up today. He's going to the Javits to get his. He's 65 years old, so he can get it now. And he signed up, and he's going to the Javits Center to get it done, and he's getting it on March 6th. So it's 2 months away for him. Wow. We signed up really early. If we had been able to get in early, and then I sign up, right, going through all this, and then I get a thing from Mount Sinai. Hey, you can come see us. Here's how to sign up. Here, and the closest date on that one was the 22nd. So I figured I only have to walk a block and a half, and it's 2 days earlier.
Right, you save cab fare.
Yeah, and I assume the people are going to be giving the shots. They're usually calling it a New York Health Department hub. Okay, so they're using it as a hub, and I'm sure they're going to have the right stuff there and everything.
Your schools are closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a good use of the property.
And even if it is open, I think it's in the gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can do is get our shot and then have a dance. I don't know,
Yeah, I'll meet you under the bleachers.
Yeah. Well, we only got about 10 minutes left, and we haven't yet gotten into politics. I tell you, people really hate you. Can I say that?
Yeah, well, that's good. That's
I get more.
You used to be.
I like segregated you from the rest of the show, and I'm getting heat for that.
Well, you used to be the guy they love to hate. That was your position.
Yeah, right.
Well, I guess I'm.
But the word there was love to hate. In your case, the word love never comes up.
Well, let's look at what's going on with this impeachment, this rush to impeachment. You know, I think that the Republicans don't want the stink on their hands, and feel that Trump is toxic at this point.
He is.
And trying to separate themselves.
Yeah.
Also, they don't want Trump to have power and his audience. So what's also happening is between Facebook, Twitter, and a number of other social medias.
Well, in the case of Parler, they've been shut down because Amazon, who probably they get their servers through Amazon Web Services, which I do for my my Roku channel, believe it or not. And they said, we don't want your business. So, it became a kind of horrible, kind of a terrible thing for them. But, I got to tell you something, Phil, and you're a Republican, and I don't see how you can disagree with this because you're all for business. These people are making a business decision as well. I mean, it's their store. They can tell you, hey, you don't have shoes on, you can't come in.
I think that the Section 230 should have been eliminated. I mean, that was something that was created in 1996.
230 did what?
Pardon me?
It gave them protections, didn't it?
Right. It said they couldn't be sued.
Yeah. Well, they're worried about. Listen, they're worried about the public as a whole. If they feel that what Trump is publishing is not good for the public well-being, as it were, and it has proved that his words have caused problems. They have every right to do it. It's their shop. They have their rules. If I do things on this show that YouTube doesn't like, then I'm not on YouTube anymore.
What you're doing by having conversation with me is you're actually opening up a dialogue that is being silenced right now by other venues.
I don't know that it's being silenced because I think other right-wingers haven't had their accounts taken away. They certainly can say how they feel about things. They can even say they feel Trump didn't do anything wrong. That's not why Trump's being taken off. It's because they consider his actions incendiary, and they're worried about that for the public good.
Yeah, well, they're trying to keep things clean, especially until the election, not the election, the inauguration, because supposedly there's been some communication that there's going to be protests at different state capitals, and that can't be good. I wasn't for anything but a rally and a march. And I felt that that's what Trump wanted. But I was disappointed that Trump didn't try to corner these people that were trying to take over.
He didn't go online and mention a word about it, like, hey, I don't like what I'm seeing, stop. There was nothing.
Exactly. And for that, I fault him.
Well, I think, here's what either he is the stupidest man alive or he really wanted to make trouble. I mean, you had to know that you were saying things that would be incendiary to certain people. You got to realize he knew who that crowd was out there. They not only were just, Trumpers, but they were also white supremacists, and they were Proud Boys, and they were all the real troublemakers on the right that the right doesn't even want to associate themselves with. And he had to know, or if he didn't know, then he was the most unthinking person to know that his words would have consequences.
Yeah, well, I think that by telling them to make a lot of noise and let the senators know how they felt was
he didn't sow noise. But you got to remember, there were two speeches before his. And it was Rudy Giuliani saying, let's create whatever, let's make trouble here or something like that. And you had Don Jr., he was getting incendiary. And when Trump came on, basically he just said, march down there. I'm marching with you. That's the part I love. And then he never marched with them.
No.
He just went home.
Well, he may have been forced to go home.
And reportedly, he sat either in his quarters or in the Oval Office watching it all play out on TV, laughing and really happy that it was happening. What?
I saw that.
That was a different thing. That was before the speech.
Prior to his speech.
Right. But afterwards, supposedly the reports were in the White House. He was sitting there watching television saying, isn't this wonderful? Isn't this terrific?
I can't believe any.
You've got people who are leaving him like crazy. There are other people who are not because they feel it's important for them to stay there to try and keep him from doing stuff.
Also, the only way you can have a peaceful transition is to have a transition. If all of a sudden everybody leaves, then there's nobody to create a transition.
Let me ask you this question, though. If a person becomes president of the United States, we like to think that we have freedom of speech in this country. You can say anything you want to. But when you become president, you have to be careful about what you say. Just in general, because it affects other places in the world you could cause a war if you said the wrong thing. Well, so that what he went out and did was a purely selfish act. It was like, go to the Capitol and save my job.
I'm not.
Very selfish, Phil. I don't care what you say. And you even wrote me. You even wrote me and said you were disappointed in him.
Yeah, well, and rightfully so. I mean, there's a lot of people that are disappointed in him. It's just that I still like Trump. I mean,
what's to like about this selfish prick?
I am grateful for what he has done for the last 3.5, almost 4 years. This move was a mistake, and it unfortunately is going to overshadow all the good that he did.
Well, his legacy is toast.
Yeah, legacy is ruined.
In fact, any business he wants to do afterwards, he's never going to be able to reclaim his business either. Deutsche Bank just bailed out of him.
Yeah, well, the PGA pulled their whatever PGA does, their golf tournament in Bedminster, New Jersey. They pulled that. Right. Now, will that bankrupt Trump? No.
I think he's bankrupt already, Phil.
It's just a prestige thing.
I think he's bankrupt already.
Well, how much? He's been raising money for 4 years. How can he be
he's not supposed to use that money.
Well,
for that.
Hey, if they throw him out, it's his money.
I think he's got to probably leave the country after this is over.
No, I have a feeling that things will blow over, just like they did with Nixon. It's going to take time. There's a lot. He has a lot of support. You got
to remember what Nixon did pales by comparison to what happened last Wednesday.
No, because Nixon covered something up.
He covered something up, but he didn't cause damage to the Capitol. He didn't have a bunch of people go in and stop the wheels of the government in what is called and is very rightfully an insurrection.
He didn't call for that. He did not call for that. There was nothing in his speech that said go to the.
I heard the speech, and what I heard absolutely was that.
Well, I heard it also, and I saw the transcript. There is nothing in there that he said.
Phil,
go make some noise.
Phil, what did they do?
They rioted,
and he said march down Pennsylvania Avenue and go to the Capitol and tell them how you feel. And they turned around, they went down, they tore the place apart.
Well,
he could have told them, thank you so much for coming here. Now go back to where you live and let's try and change things for the better. Blah, 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 blah. But no, he told them to march down Pennsylvania Avenue.
Well, hey, every other group has marched down Pennsylvania Avenue. They even renamed the street Black Lives Matter Avenue. So it's not anything that anyone else hasn't done, and it's free speech.
I think you're getting out of the mainstream now because a lot of Republicans are beginning to feel that they don't want to be in that camp where people think that they liked what happened at the Capitol.
I don't like what happened, but I do still support Trump, and I'm not a fair weather Trumper.
Here's why. Okay, we got to go because it's time for the other people to get their 2 cents worth in. But let me just say there are several reasons why he should be, and why we shouldn't invoke the 25th Amendment. Chris Cuomo was on a few minutes ago talking about the 25th Amendment and saying the 25th Amendment is a remedial amendment. It's not meant as a punitive amendment.
Right.
That
Exactly.
Taking this guy and impeaching him, that's punitive. And
Right.
that, that way, I mean, even now, what's his name? McConnell is all for having him impeached. And
that's because McConnell has moved on. He's looking to protect himself.
He's looking to protect the Republican Party. Exactly.
Right.
And so he's going to get nailed once it gets to the Senate. Okay. They're going to get those 17 votes they need from the Republicans.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be close, but I don't think they're going to get the votes.
Well, we'll see here. Listen, I got to go because there are other people that want to probably say how you're a piece of shit. So,
Thank you very much. I'll wipe twice.
But I have you on because I like the other side to be heard, as insane as it may be. You aren't a QAnon person yet, so
Well, and I didn't have a Parler account, but I did disengage Twitter. I said, well, if Trump's no longer on Twitter, I'm not going to be on Twitter. So I got rid of Twitter.
Yeah, and something.
A few people I follow.
They really miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, their business is falling apart because you left.
Well, I think that their stock went down.
That was last week or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, hey, listen, thank you so much, Phil, for being with me again tonight. Maybe we'll see you next week.
Oh, look forward.
Unless a lynch mob comes and tells me that I can't,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, screw them if they can't take a joke.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay.
That's Phil, okay, and that's him and what he does best, which is what he does best. Anyway, let me see here. We should probably admit all the people that want to get admitted here, and they're all jumping online. And here they are, ladies and gentlemen. There's Brian Neary, and there's Jeff, and there's me, and there's Charlie Wallace, and there's Alan. How are you guys this evening?
I need to throw up.
Okay.
What, you need what?
To throw up.
To throw up?
Right.
Well, I mean, that's Phil. Come on. I just
remember what Giuliani say? Or what did he say?
Combat mode.
Combat for whatever he said.
Yeah. I mean, it was the whole presentation that became a real problem, So whatever. Anyway, it's let me see here. A couple of things. Yeah, I'm getting Marjorie and I are getting our COVID shot. Who knows if the second one will ever come? Can you go, Brian? Can you go with only one shot for a while?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're the booster they want you to take, but that's what I was saying before. They have so many, but then when it comes to that 3-week part, they have to have double doses or stuff set aside for everybody else.
Yeah, well, what happened to CDC today said, well, we're not going to keep the double doses around. We're going to get everybody their first shot now. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's a wise idea.
Yeah.
How about you, Charlie? What's happening in Texas with the COVID shots? Wait, who's got their thing on? Is that you, Todd? Do you have your speaker on there? Are you listening?
Yeah, I hope I got it on. Give me 1 second.
No, I want you to not have it on.
Can you hear me?
I want you to not.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Mm-hmm. You're good. Kind of make your camera a little bit. Put your head in the middle of the picture a little more. That'd be nice.
Texas doesn't have any vaccine.
Texas doesn't.
Vaccinating the old people and the health workers.
The old people? Oh yeah,
the old people in nursing homes. Not even the old people. Even if you're 80 years old, you can't get it unless you're in a nursing home.
Really?
Because they don't have enough vaccines.
Okay,
here.
but how old are you now?
I'm 70. I'll be 71 next month.
Okay, well, you according to the CDC now, you qualify for getting the vaccine.
Yep, and my doctor says that I won't be getting it until March or April.
Oh boy. Well,
they don't have a vaccine here.
Yeah.
I'm on. I'm going to be tested pretty shortly.
What do you mean
But-
tested?
Well, tomorrow I have to go through and start signing up the system.
Yeah.
In other words, they put my name on it, and they said you're okay, but I have to fill out this 800,000 questions, but they haven't given it to me yet. They're going to give
I see.
it to
So
me
you got a
tomorrow.
different system there. See, I signed into the New York City system.
I know.
If I'd gone to the state, it would have been a different kind of sign in. The thing over at Mount Sinai was again another kind of sign in.
I know.
You know, so I mean, it was really, you know, and then they wanted the back and the front of my photograph of my my, what do you call it, my insurance card.
Insurance.
And I decided, I did it once, and then I had to do it again, and I had to do it again. Finally, I just decided I won't put it in there. Let me just put next and see what happens. And it didn't stop me. It didn't say you have to have the pictures of the you know, because I can show it to them when I go there. And what they're going to need primarily is my Medicare card, not my health insurance card, you know. So it's ridiculous.
Okay.
It's all ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
So you know how you can tell when you're getting old?
how?
Last night I was watching your Monday get together but I was watching it at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never watched it and known most of the people that were in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought I was actually on it. So I raised my hand and and I can't see myself. And I'm like, I must have lost my connection.
Did they call on you?
And there you go, Robert. So and then I realized I lost my connection because I'm not even on the damn show.
Do you remember your question?
Yeah.
No, I don't. And it was just, I'm like, holy shit, I turned 62.
And I want to ask it now. We'll play along.
Yeah.
What was that, Robert?
If you want to ask your question now, we'll play along.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so you didn't. So you thought that the show was live when you watched it?
Yeah. And I'm like, I raised my hand and I'm like, where am I?
But you didn't even sign into the show, so why would you raise your hand?
Because I'm
That's
62.
called a senior
my
moment.
brain, I don't know.
That's right.
A senior moment. I'm senior and I don't have those kind of moments. Yes,
Oh,
Todd.
I do.
Yes, Todd.
Very sorry. I'm 40, I think 47 or 40 something. I keep lying about my age, but I still do that. I'm always waving on a show and I'm not even online.
Now I don't feel so bad.
You're welcome, sir. I'm just being honest. Yeah. I watch it all the time, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm online? Wait a minute. Oh, my bad. No, I'm not. Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. I thought I said something, and cut somebody off, but I didn't. I wasn't online.
Did you actually say how old did you say you are?
My real age?
Oh, now you see, you shouldn't lie about your age.
Can't remember because you lied.
Well, I believe I keep asking my dad, how old I am. I was born in 6/24/72. I believe I am 47 or 8. I don't know.
That makes 48.
Yeah, you'd be 49.
Does anybody have the ability to do some quick math on that?
48. I'm sorry. I lie to the women all the time.
Hi, Vernon. I had this deal where I had a woman once say to me, what you should do is always say you're older than you are. Because if you say what your real age is, they'll go, boy, he looks like shit for his age.
Not when you're trying to pick up on a girl. Not when you're trying to pick up on a girl.
If you say you're older, okay, then they go, gee, looks great for his age, right? I mean, I'm really only 45, but I tell everybody I'm 81 so that the whole thing matches. But okay. Anyway. So anyway, it's things keep going on out there. It just we can't have a day, even now, where we don't mention Trump.
Yeah.
Where he's not in the news. Today he was down looking at his 3 inches of wall. Telling everybody this is 750 miles that I've put in here. But it isn't. They have 750 miles of wall, but they fixed some of it. Am I right, Robert? Am I getting this all wrong?
They also had to walk around all the ladders and the poles for pole vaulting. They were strewn all over the ground.
Right, right.
Actually, they had some sawzalls that they had bought from Home Depot to cut through the steel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really?
I heard that Mexico is now willing to pay for the wall.
Yeah. Keep us out. Yeah.
Well,
and Canada wants a wall too.
There you go.
It's hard to believe, but we only have a week. By the way, I'm getting my vaccination during the inauguration.
Yep.
Wow.
So is Joe in a way.
Yeah.
Are you going to live stream it, Alex?
People are asking me about that. I don't think they're going to let me. I would love to take a video of it. Maybe
you and Marjorie are going together. Maybe Marjorie can video your.
She has the same time for her appointment, so she's probably going to be sitting in the chair next to me or something, getting hers.
I think we'll see you get a shot. In fact, I'm here to tell you, I've seen every fucking American get a shot on television.
Right. Well, why?
Because they show them all.
Right. Have you? What's happening over in New Jersey? Are you eligible for the shot yet?
They just sent me through my endocrinologist. They just sent me a questionnaire. I don't know what that means in terms of time, but I guess they want me to pre-register.
Is that another 80 questionnaire?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't look at it because every time I try to log onto it, the system is down. So.
Yeah. Well, the system was down when I tried to get on, and then right at the very bottom it said, if you're having trouble getting on here, try this link. And I tried that link, and it got me to someplace where I could start doing it. So
here's an idea. Maybe the federal government could have stepped in and organized some of this shit. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
Yeah, yeah. But I have, for instance, wait a minute, hold on a second. Here, here it is. This is the upcoming appointment thing right there.
All right.
Do you have the questions there? Tell Jeff the questions so he can study tonight.
That's right.
I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know what the questions are.
Buy the Cliff Notes.
But I have my appointment thing, and then I got a letter, and it said, hold on a second, I'll just read a little bit of it to you so you know what's happening here. It's really stupid. Really stupid. Hold on. Medical. There we go. I go here, and it says arrive no more than 5 minutes prior to the scheduled appointment. You won't be allowed in for a while. Then it says you will receive a reminder email on the morning of your appointment with additional screening questions. More. You must complete these questions and receive your QR code, scannable barcode. If you have not answered the additional questions or received a QR code, your appointment may be delayed.
Yep.
What's may be delayed? The word may is a very broad term.
It is.
Maybe you only have one arm.
I don't know, but I guess I guess they will send it to me, and I guess I can answer the questions. But geez, almighty, they don't make it easy.
I think the reason why Robert can't get on is because there's 25 questions in New Jersey, and Chris Christie's stuck on number 4.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the
May
problem.
have eaten the questionnaire.
Here's my problem with all of this, and I think you will have a tendency to agree with me. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about old people. All right, basically.
Clogging up.
Wait a minute, and now they're being asked to answer all these questions and to do this and do that, and then they say okay here, and then, oh, by the way, the day of you're going to get an email and you got to answer some more questions, and they got to figure out how to go to the link. I mean, these are not people who are even ready to use computers.
Yeah.
And who helps them? Their kids, and their kids can't go visit them.
Can't go be there.
Yeah, and
so
then,
they're all clogging up the system.
And then, yeah, you're right. And then, they say, well, you can call this phone number if you have trouble running a computer. All right. I can imagine. I didn't even try to call the number. How long I would have to wait on hold before I got somebody, and then are they going to ask me these 80 or some odd questions? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Should be one question. Do you want to get COVID? No. Okay, bring your arm.
Yeah, bring your arm. Do you have an arm?
Yeah. Do you have insurance?
What happens to people who are double amputees?
No, brother.
I guess they get it. They get a shot in the butt.
I see these kids. I see these kids on the Shriners commercials with no arms.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
How do they get the COVID? We have no place don't have an arm for us to put it in. I guess you could put it in their butt if you had to, right?
Yeah, muscle tissue.
Muscle tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show that one on TV.
Yeah.
In the leg.
There you go.
In some cases.
So we had Tony's mother die of COVID on the very day that they made the shots available to people over 75. And that's kind of sad,
It made me cry. Over 4,000 people dying to date because we can't get the damn vaccine out fast enough.
4,400.
Yep.
Jeez.
4,400?
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, Tony's mother probably still be alive right now if they had this. It was a classic story, I think, of how it happened. Should be a lesson to everybody, that just because you have family members coming into the house doesn't mean you're safe.
Yep.
And the daughter used to come over every couple of days to give the mother a sponge bath or whatever. And that's very sweet and loving. But she kept doing it, and she went home one night and said, I'm not feeling well. She got a COVID test. Turned out she had COVID. Then the next thing we know, the mother isn't feeling well, and she goes in. But I don't know. I think they tested her, and she didn't have COVID. But they sent her home. And then Tony wrote me, I woke up this morning, went to wake her up, and she just wouldn't wake up. She wasn't dead, but she wouldn't wake up. So I called an ambulance, and now we're just waiting, and they're not allowing us to see her. They're just sending us video of her through iPhones or whatever. And I just, my heart just went out to him. I mean, I'll never be able to make a joke about wallpaper again. I mean,
early on when people got sick, their loved ones couldn't see them, couldn't visit them, nothing.
Well, that was what happened to Tony.
Wow, I thought that was over.
No. It's still, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
And then there's the other side of it. That poor woman died alone. There's two sides to that coin.
Yeah. Although I think she was passed out pretty much all the time, and I think they intubated her, and it didn't work. And I mean, the reason I feel especially bad is I want that shot now because hell, I'm the same age she was.
That old, huh?
Yeah, that old. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no wonder he didn't let you on Monday.
That's right.
That's not raise your hand.
9 o'clock at night in California.
Yeah. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Okay. Real sad to hear about Tony's mom. I'm really bummed.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I'm really bummed.
Well, it's somebody that, we only do this thing using Zoom, and this is like an internet stupid little internet show. But all you people have kind of become friends with each other as a result of this, you know? And so when something like that happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. And I think that's what's wonderful about this group, is that you feel that way, you know?
I've never met Tony in my life. I've never met his mom, certainly. And yet, when I got the news listening to the show Monday, I honestly spent a few hours just thinking about it and him and the situation. And I thought, holy cow, the power of us all getting together is more than I even imagined.
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah, and I think like some people, I know when Robert, when you first got on, you said you used to listen to the show with your wife and you used to yell at Phil while you guys were watching him. But so same sort of thing with me, is I've listened for years. So even before I started calling in, I mean, I remember Charlie moving from, I think he went to Arizona and then back there. I mean, I remember all those stories from you guys from a long time.
Right.
And so even before signing on, man, when I signed on, it's like, you sort of know you guys already. So probably people are listening and feel the same way.
And the people here right now are kind of the core. You know, there's a few others like Patrick and John Larkin.
Rob.
And what? And who?
And Rob.
Rob. Yeah.
Rob Alfano.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You know, but
yeah,
I mean,
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason. You know, and it's just we're all kind of like we're kind of a little family, of dysfunctional as it may be, but it's amazing how close we become with each other, and yet I've never been in the same room with Brian or Alan, or I've been with Jeff and his wife for lunch, so you don't get included in this discussion, Jeff. Robert, I've never met you. Vernon, I've never met you. Never met Todd. You know, never met Kevin. But I feel like I have, you know.
When you had lunch with Jeff, did he have his sound on?
You just talk like this.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, no, those were in the days
One
of...
time we took a ride, too.
Those were in the days of Skype, and he lost bandwidth constantly. So, you know, it was... no, it's just...
in answer to your question earlier, Alex, I heard you asking about the effectiveness of one shot.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my mom today, taking her to the doctor. And I asked that question to her doctor because we were setting up some cataract surgery for her. And I asked the doctor about her getting the vaccine and then having the surgery, or waiting for the both shots to get done, or doing one shot and getting the surgery and having the second shot, which was better and all that. She said that the first shot is 70% effective, and then the second shot just kind of boosts it up to 100%, or close to 100%. So that's your answer there.
Okay, so the second one isn't as important as just getting the first one.
Right. The first one is really good. The second one makes it best.
And they said almost nobody in fact, I don't think anybody's ever died with one shot. Once you get the shot, you might get sick, but you're not going to die.
Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Yeah, no, that's very encouraging. Yes, Vernon. Oh, look, Brian Ludwig.
I heard.
Brian.
I heard today. Curious, about how we're going to get notified. Like I turned 72 this Friday, and I was wondering, how are they going to notify people when it's your turn? If you're in the category and everything.
Well,
so I did a little research. I did a little research here in Louisville.
Yeah.
They actually have drive-throughs set up, and that's how they're taking care of healthcare workers. It's a drive-through over at the fairgrounds, and they're looking for volunteers to help manage that, even if it's just helping with the parking and all that kind of stuff. And if you volunteer for 40 hours, then you get a vaccine. You get a shot.
You know what we're opening up here for shots? Met Stadium.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing here. They're doing all the stadiums, the 49ers, the Warriors, the Sharks, the soccer stadiums.
No, well, they said that there they'll be able to do 60 to 70,000 a day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but so far as how you're going to know, Vernon, whether you can get the shot or not, what happened here is we were just told starting Monday you can sign up for it if you're 75 and older. So that's exactly what we did, you know.
Well, you have a website, I guess, you go to sign up.
Yeah. And then I got this thing which I showed everybody, which says upcoming appointment, and it says this is for Marjorie. Where's mine? I think mine's back here somewhere.
While you're looking at that, did everybody hear that the U.S. Attorney in D.C. has opened 170 cases against the rioters?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
And more coming.
More coming.
I hope.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, here's the Bennett Schwarzman. And I got my ID number. Let's see, hers is 33. What's mine? My number? Oh, 31. So somewhere we were one person off, but we both got close ID numbers, and it just says, Wednesday, and it's upcoming appointment, and it is a confirmation. Then I got the letter says this is a confirmation, and so hopefully we'll be. Of course, I always worry about everything, but this email confirms your appointment. I worry about it nonetheless, that it's going to screw up and, not to happen. And then I'm going to be sitting here waiting for 6 months and not be able to go out for 6 months. But everything will probably happen okay.
Then Alabama wins the college bowl. So hundreds of thousands of people go down and celebrate all together, no masks.
Where are the cops? Why don't they just start arresting people for not wearing masks?
Did you hear the House of Representatives now? They will not let you on the floor unless you have a mask.
And if you don't have a mask and you're there, you get fined $100. And for the second offense, you get $1,000 fine.
Oh. I heard it was $50 and $2,500.
Oh, really?
When they were hunkering down against those rioters, Republicans refused to put masks on, and now 3 Democrats have come down with COVID.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
3 Democratic.
And I would love to hear what those Republicans have to say about that. Besides, I'm sorry. I'm sorry doesn't work, huh?
Yes, I agree, Charlie.
Bring Phil back. I never heard the president say anything about rioting. I never heard that. No. He didn't say that.
No, he didn't use the word riot. Of
course not.
I heard portions of his speech, which are hard to find now because I think YouTube took them off.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you guys should go down and tear up the Capitol, but go take care of that little problem for me, okay?
Yeah. And by the way, Georgia, how would you like it if your state didn't work so well? I mean, it's just we
take the cannolis.
We live in absolutely amazing times. Here comes John Larkin, and I just saw Ray Renati's coming on here. So
hey, this would be a royal flush, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If I did that again, let me see here. Can I do that? Is this a royal flush? Is it? I guess.
Or is it jackpot? No, 12 is jackpot. So
12 is jackpot. Yeah.
12 is jackpot.
I think that was only in Skype.
Well,
he can't post it, but we can say, hey, 12.
That's awesome.
Here.
Zoom panel, and let me see here. Jackpot. I haven't done jackpot. Okay, here we go, folks. They want jackpot. Jackpot it is. Okay, there we go, folks. It's a little off center there, but that's the way it was before. So the hell with it.
I'm sorry to change the subject a little bit, but
yeah.
This is over near Allen. This is in the Cloverleaf at 880.
The
all the homeless people, they built a tree house in the Cloverleaf.
So
I was telling Tiffany about this, and the guy just posted this on Facebook.
Where's
that, Brian?
It's 880 on Mallory exit. I went there. I go there Fridays for the Newark facility, and it's like, yeah.
There's some of those intersections, Brian, that look like cities now.
Yeah. Yep.
At least my money went to the right place.
And over here, Almaden Valley, there's like the big entrance onto 85.
Yeah,
and
I saw that one the other day.
They,
I saw it
they
the other
keep
day.
doing it.
Actually, I saw
they
it today.
clean it out. Yeah, but once a year they go through. They caught on fire about 2 months ago. Oh my God.
So anyway, so again, getting back to what Phil was saying, is it was very hard for me to get him to understand that inflammatory rhetoric doesn't have to use the words riot or anything else. It's what you're implying and what you're saying you want. You can even say you don't want something and imply that you really want it. I'm not. So
on the other hand, he said that Biden, not this week but last week, that Biden wouldn't be up to the job because he calls people names. Like the standard by which it's beyond the pale.
Pot in the kettle.
By the way, Alex, did you get my application for Antifa?
Yeah, I sent my dues.
No, I didn't.
I sent in my application. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if you go to Antifa.com, what comes up is Joe Biden's site.
Yeah.
So somebody went out and bought Antifa.com and then decided to do that.
Oh, that's
probably a right winger.
Probably a right winger. Yeah. The insane part about it is there is no Antifa. I mean, to speak of. In fact, the FBI said today, Antifa is a philosophy, not an organized group.
Yep.
And wouldn't they be taking credit if they were a group?
Oh, of course.
Wouldn't they be standing up and doing this? Come on.
Yeah,
I mean, how many Antifa members own a Trump flag?
Yeah, right, exactly. I said they go to the Trump supply store.
Listen,
and they buy all that stuff.
I can go online right now and I can find white supremacist groups. I can go right online and find neo-Nazi groups.
Yep.
But
That's
I
because
can't
they can
find.
write it off as a business
I
expense.
cannot find Antifa.
Wow, I just typed in Antifa.com. Right to Biden.
Yeah. Well, what were you saying, Jeff?
As the business expense.
First Jeff, then Todd. Yes, Jeff.
Didn't during World War II the Italians were doing that?
Had Antifa going?
Yeah.
Antifa was anti-fascist. That's what it means.
Right.
Oh, anti-fascist.
Anti-fascist.
Fascist?
Yeah, anti-fascist.
Yeah. Todd and then Brian.
That's why I signed up, Jeff. I'm anti-fascist.
Me too.
Okay.
Todd?
I was agreeing with my man what he was saying, because there's really no Antifa in the United States talking about. It's like a couple of people that might have the philosophy, of it, but nobody's really following exactly, going out and blowing up stuff. They're like an idea, when Trump says it, it's remember when he was saying that he had a lawyer or something that he made up some name? It's the same type of thing that he's using the exact same way.
It's the caravan. I'm still waiting for the caravan.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Disappeared.
It's
create an other that we should all be afraid of, but I can save you.
It's a classic. It's a classic fascist thing to do. So you create a group that doesn't exist and say that they're the enemy at the door. Yes, Brian Ludwig.
Yes, regarding what Robert Natal, probably butchering your last name, I apologize, said regarding Phil. I missed that interview, but when Phil said that he doesn't think Biden is up to the job because he calls people names. Alex, did you by any chance ask him if when Trump kept referring to, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. Pocahontas was her birth name, so he wasn't really calling her a name. Of course he was.
Yeah.
Or
he's a
Lion Head.
They're both fucking hypocrites.
Nobody calls people more names than Trump.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
Crooked Hillary.
Sleepy Joe.
This must be driving
Little Marco.
Must be driving
What's
him
his name?
crazy that he doesn't have Twitter. He
Yeah.
doesn't have Twitter. The networks, I saw him, he was giving a speech today down at the Wall, and a lot of the networks weren't even carrying him.
I saw an article online. The headline said that he's going apoplectic over the fact that he can't tweet anymore.
Oh yeah.
Well, this really hurts him.
I saw something online today that a hacker, a female hacker, anticipated Parler going blank, and so she downloaded 56 terabytes of data from that site before it got cut off.
The fuck out of here! That's ridiculous.
Just in case it's needed by law enforcement.
Right.
I'm one of those minority leftists though who don't think that big tech made the right decision in censoring this man.
I don't think they're censoring anybody, Brian. Oh, they're business people. This is their business. Hey, if I own a store and I don't want somebody coming into my store because every time he comes in, he's a pain in the ass, I say, you're banned from here. You can't come in.
I understand that argument, but when big tech is influencing politicians the way that the military-industrial complex is, I don't consider them. I don't consider them a private business anymore. They need to be regulated like a public utility. Is what they need to be done.
Why?
Well,
why? They didn't start out as a public utility. I mean, these guys started companies that they didn't even know if they'd ever make a penny off of them, and somehow they became very popular and very powerful. But, there are enough of them out there that it doesn't constitute what do you call it, a monopoly. Yes, Alan.
Oh, I see in the news the U.S. House passes a measure urging Vice President Trump to remove Vice President Pence to remove Trump from office.
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it. Why waste your time?
No, he's already said it in writing that he won't do it.
Yep.
I think they do it as a perfunctory move.
Yeah.
They just want to have
That's a waste of time. Why aren't they working on getting more vaccines to us?
Well, yeah. Or getting money to us. That might help too. We still have a COVID bill waiting there that has not been signed or passed or voted on. Let's take care of that too. You can take care of all of this at the same time. I mean, Biden had a good idea. He said, "You want to have an impeachment? Fine. What you do is you split your session up into two halves, morning and afternoon. And in the morning, you do my appointments, and on the afternoon, you do the impeachment." Thought that was a fine idea.
Somebody else said, do it in 1 day a week. Heard that too.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no rush. Once we've impeached him, there's no rush to try him, because he can still be tried and have all those things happen to him that would happen to him after the fact. Take away his Secret Service, take away his pension, take away his health, take away a couple other things they take away. His ability to run again.
I'm waiting to see what New York and New Jersey does.
Huh?
I'm waiting to see what New York and New Jersey, because
in New Jersey, they just take you out to a swamp and shoot you.
Well, maybe Soprano style. We can only hope. But McConnell suggested that he's pissed off with Trump and that he might move forward with motions.
Oh no,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it personally.
He is all for the impeachment. He says the reason why is he wants to make him impotent within the Republican Party.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's funny, but you listen to Fox on the way home tonight, and they said that that's not true, and they said McCarthy was not true either.
I heard that.
McCarthy is such a mealy mouth. He doesn't have an opinion of his own. Whenever he wants to take an opinion, he always pulls other people.
Robert. Hold on a second, Robert. How is it not true? They said it.
I know, but they're pushing the same agenda that they always do. They throw. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole thing, but they were saying McCarthy and McConnell are not actually saying that, and they're restating.
Well, of course, but you heard it. You heard it on Fox. Yes, Robert.
I heard it on Hannity, and that's got to be the truth.
I heard that too.
I know the truth.
And I'm sure Laura brought it right back up too.
Listen, let's think about the politics of this for a minute. Forget the incident for a second and think about the politics. Let's imagine for a minute that you're Marco Rubio. Let's imagine that, I know it's hard. Let's imagine you're Ted Cruz. Let's imagine you're Tom Cotton. And let's ask ourselves the following. Wouldn't it be nice if Trump were out of the picture for 2024?
Yeah.
Because until he's out of the picture, you got to keep your mouth shut about your intentions. You're not able to come forward and start your campaign, even by inference. These people, if they hear that Trump is out of the picture, will now go racing into the vacuum and try to secure the top dog spot for 2024. I guarantee you they're sitting home with their fingers crossed, but they can't say that publicly because to do so would piss off the Trump base, and they can't afford to do that.
By the way, Charlie, how's Ted Cruz doing right now in the news and in Texas?
He's getting skewered.
Houston,
every newspaper in Texas has called for his resignation.
Houston Chronicle.
Has he said anything? He looks like he's disappeared.
He hadn't said a word. I haven't heard a thing. I haven't seen anything from him. He's just disappeared.
He's on vacation.
He's a staunch racist.
Pan fishing.
Oh,
You talk about Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
He was on with Cuomo today on CNN, and Cuomo just ripped him a new one.
Good.
Oh, really? I gotta see that. I'm sure it's on YouTube by now.
Yeah, it is. It's on YouTube.
He's the face you'd most like to punch, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if they made a punching bag with his face on it, it would sell really well.
Oh yeah, I'd buy one.
Tucker Carlson does it for me. He always has that look on his face.
Yeah.
Looks like he just took
it.
Well, you know, I used to be on Tucker Carlson's show once a week. I used to be on Tucker Carlson's show every week.
Fuck him.
And I never met him because he was out in New Jersey and I was in a little studio in New York when he was on MSNBC, believe it or not.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, John, how do you feel about all this? You're quiet tonight.
I think they're gonna try him in the Senate because tomorrow they're going to impeach him, and I think McConnell's going to bring it up. I think McConnell's sick of the fucker.
Me too.
I got a feeling he's going to do it.
What has he done all along to make any friends out of these people? You know, all he does is vilify them when they don't do what he wants them to do.
He fucking lost the Senate for them, you know.
Oh, yeah. He lost that. Georgia would have been won by the Republicans if it hadn't been for Trump.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian.
Absolutely.
Well, I would say Georgia would have been won by the Republicans, and the White House would have been won by Trump if it weren't for COVID, one. And two, McConnell can, under normal circumstances with a normal antagonistic politician who isn't Trump of the same party, McConnell could try to employ the strategy of cutting off the limb or a limb or two to save the body from an infection. The problem with the Republican Party is they're so plagued and polluted by MAGA-ites that if he tried doing that, he'd wind up leaving only his head intact. The rest of the body would have to go. And the Republican Party, metaphorically speaking, would die as a result. So, yeah, damned if he does and fucked if he doesn't. So,
yeah.
Was it
COVID but the good thing,
or was it his reaction to COVID?
Well, I'm just saying, if it weren't for COVID. So his reaction, you know, you were talking about Trump, right? Yeah. His reaction was shitty, and it cost him, ultimately cost him the presidency. But if it weren't for COVID, what I'm saying, if it weren't for COVID, he'd be our president for another 4 years.
If he used COVID properly, he could have won in a landslide.
I don't know.
Vernon,
I don't know if I agree with that because
hold on, Vernon.
He got 75 million votes, right? But the Democrats got more. I don't care what would have happened. You know, the Democrats were just fucking sick to shit of Trump, and they wanted him out.
He got more votes. Trump got more votes by Republicans and turncoat or whatever Democrats in 2020 than he got in 2016 too. He got more votes from people.
Yeah.
More people voted for Trump in 2020 than they did in 2016. Right. And if, like I said, if it weren't for COVID,
I don't know. I just don't know.
Vernon Nunn's got his hand up. Vernon.
Yeah, I'd like to speak on behalf of Mitch McConnell, my senior senator from Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
He is a consummate politician, and I think two things have happened that have caused him to change his mind about Trump. Number one, he got reelected. He's not going to be up for reelection again for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Number two, he found out about the 14th Amendment, Section 3, which means that on a simple majority, the Senate can ban Trump for life from holding public office.
And he'll want that.
And he'll want that.
Yes, he
to
will.
Purge Trump from the Republican Party.
What's to stop Trump from running as a third party and disrupting?
He can't run.
No, he can't
He
run.
can't hold office.
He can't hold.
He cannot hold office.
But at the very
run
least,
for
he can
God judge.
influence.
And
He
you
can. He
forgot
opens his
has to
mouth
go
and he
home to his-
influences.
But
he has
he
to go
if
home
he
to his
he-
wife
but
every
it,
night.
But if he can't hold office,
That'll die away.
he's just doing this, you know.
Yeah, that'll die away.
and they don't consider if he can't hold office, he's no need. They have no need for him. Yes, Todd.
Well, the other thing that I don't know if everybody's paying attention is that really Trump can't do anything anymore because all of his friends, left him. Since it's like it's 8 or 9 days more left. So now everybody now decides to get off the Trump bandwagon. Think about that logically. Then on top of that, the Iranians are gonna get his ass. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Everybody forget about that? Or you think Putin's gonna back him up? My man Putin, Vladimir? He ain't gonna back him up.
Somebody asked Putin in a press conference, because he holds a press conference once a year, and they asked him in the press conference if Trump gets thrown out of the United States, could he come here? And basically, Putin gave the impression that he didn't want him coming to Russia.
Yeah, maybe he'll share a room with Snowden or something. Huh?
Yeah,
It'd be bad for business in Russia.
Todd?
I'll tell you what they'll do to him.
What?
What they're gonna do to him is the same thing that they did to that gentleman that got dropped off in Germany. They're gonna put the shit in drawers, and then he ain't getting dropped off in Germany, and they're gonna let us fly his fucking fat ass back to the United States to die. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I'm a New Yorker through and through. I've been born and raised, okay? I knew about Trump a long time ago. I tried to warn everybody. Nobody listened to me. Nobody listened to me. So I'm sorry for the 4 years of the hell we've been put through, but I tried to get my dad on here on Christmas, but I was in Virginia, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's your boy.
Alan.
I heard that he applied to move to Venezuela and they said he was too crooked. No.
Wow. You know what my question for the week is? After watching the events of last week, my question is, what purpose exactly does Homeland Security serve anymore?
Yeah. Well, the head of Homeland Security just resigned.
Yeah, okay, but did it take like Muslim headdresses for him to get involved? Is that what it took? Did
Rob,
it take them doing blackface for him to get involved?
Charlie.
Yeah, and that was my question. I said, do you think that if that had been Muslims, ISIS or Al Qaeda trashing the Capitol, you think anybody would be calling for, let's be lenient on them.
Yeah.
Let's take it easy. Let's unity.
Yeah, right.
Well, the fact
there would have been a bunch of dead bodies laying out in the courtyard of the Capitol.
Yeah, including Trump's.
Well, the fact is that
next week.
I don't know what we always say. Well, what if these were Muslims and what if these were Black Lives Matter? And we can hypothesize about all of that. What we have to do is to deal with what is, and what is those people who were trying to overthrow the United States of America were neo-Nazis, were racists, were white supremacists. I mean, they were QAnon people. Like guy with the horns called himself the QAnon shaman.
Yeah.
William Wallace
He's
is
nuts, that guy.
gay descendant.
What?
I said it's what I always call him. William Wallace's, Braveheart fame.
Oh yeah, Braveheart.
William Wallace's gay descendant.
Mother lodged a complaint. Did you guys read that?
Who?
Yeah.
The guy with the horns, his mother lodged a complaint that he isn't eating because they don't offer him organic meals.
They complied though. They started feeding him organic meals. So
just when you figure
the criminal justice system is racist. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
You know, the dude
Yes.
with the,
Yes. Ray.
I saw an interview of the horn guy. It was about 20 minutes long. He's completely out of his mind.
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah, totally. He's insane. He's
What
totally
was your first clue, Ray?
No, I mean, like, he's really insane about everything. He's just
He's
like
from
a
San
paranoid
Francisco,
schizophrenic
isn't
or
he?
something.
Next, you're going to tell me the sky is blue.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
I mean, it was incredible. This interview.
So was that woman that got shot.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
completely bonkers.
Yeah.
And
have no
two
sympathy
people
for her.
got killed. 2 people have gotten killed so far, right? In all of this?
5.
No,
5?
6
5.
actually.
5. Excuse me.
one person committed suicide.
Well, there was one woman. There was one
Capitol
woman.
police officer.
2
committed-
people committed
Yeah,
There was
suicide.
one woman who
2 people.
was trampled to
Wow.
death wearing a "Don't Tread on Me"
Don't
T-shirt.
tread on me.
Yeah.
Come on, that's funny.
Now,
That is
that is hilarious.
hilarious.
That is,
That's what
That is
comedy.
called karma.
That's the basis of all good comedy. Is
You
that?
can't write shit better than that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Especially if you got a dark sense of humor like me.
Wow.
Karma's a bitch.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
Don't
As she
tread
found
on
out.
me.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, I don't like to be in a traffic jam next to somebody from New Hampshire when their license plate says live free or die. You know, like, what is that? Oh, shit.
Our truck driver tonight, is not Steve, but it's Todd, and so I would ask Todd, where are you tonight, Todd?
Oh, well, right now, I'm heading back down to Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Out of Ohio. I'm trying to run in the middle right there in that nice little spot. Because like I told you guys before, I lost my old truck, so I got a new truck. I got a Packard engine, so I can't get my speed turned up. So I'm stuck at 65 miles an hour.
No.
Instead of my old truck where I can do 80, 90.
Why can't your engine do more?
Well, because the company I pull for, I got the truck through. So they don't wish to turn the truck up on me for a while.
It's a restriction.
And I really don't have time for it. I normally would go to the diesel doctor, which I normally would do, but I have a Packard engine, and I have to take the truck to Kenworth.
Okay, well, we don't know about what you're talking about, but I assume that it's all.
I do.
That's cool.
I know what you're talking about, Todd. I hear you.
Thank you. I knew somebody did. Thank you.
It's funny when the companies wonder why you're taking so long and to get to the destination, and you're saying, "Well, you cut off."
Well,
at
I would
65
say the
miles an hour.
danger.
What do you want me to do? Fly?
To me, the
You
great
want me to
danger.
fly?
Exactly. That's why I don't complain about it.
Great.
I'm like, hey, look, you guys don't let me drive like I normally do. I've been driving for you guys for a very long time. I've been driving 18-wheelers for 17 years. No problems and nothing like that. So if you guys want me to drive at 65, do not bitch or complain. Shut your mouths.
Yep.
Give me my nice long loads, and I will take my sweet ass time to where I got a good. If you have a problem, I can easily go work at fucking McDonald's.
Yeah, but here's my question, Todd. You would think you would need that extra speed if you had, say, some kind of emergency situation where you had to speed up to get ahead of something to prevent something from happening.
No, you're screwed.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, they should care more about that than whether you go
I'm
too
in
fast.
Tornado Alley.
Yeah. No
Come on, Texas, everybody's doing 90 and he's punting along
Yeah,
to
you
65.
You try and pass somebody with 80,000 miles, and you get about halfway through the pass, and you're sitting there going, "Shit!" And people are behind.
What I would do is when you're behind the wheel, kind of scoot down so you look like you're an old person at the wheel.
I usually do that, and I kind of act like I don't even look at the other trucks flying by me at 90.
The reason I was asking
Put your dog's paws up on the steering wheel. That would really freak them out.
The reason I was asking you where you were was because I just wanted to say, what are people talking about out there about this? Do you run into people who will go, good for them attacking the Capitol? I mean,
yeah, I bumped into a lot of people over the road after everything that happened. And there's a lot of I don't even know. I guess I gotta say Trump supporters, and they want to fight everybody brown.
Yeah,
everybody brown, and it's kind of funny because they don't really bother me too much because I guess I'm not a small brown person. But whenever I see all the other individuals that are Muslim or Asian, anybody that's not Caucasian,
yeah.
So I jump out the truck and I defend men, women. I don't care who it is, but I try not to get my hands dirty, but I try to keep the peace to get other people back in the trucks or the vehicles or the cars and go down the road.
Yeah,
but it's ridiculous.
You know,
they have the flags out and they got the rebel flags. They're driving down the road. They're cutting us off. They're slamming in front of us and slamming on the brakes.
By the way,
and I'm like, well, I don't want to fuck up my truck.
By the
but
way,
at the same time, I'm in a good mood. I'd rather just run them over.
Yeah, but by the way,
trying to sabotage you.
Alan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you know, a big mirror on a truck, it holds an AR-15 just right, and when they try and cut you off, you pull the trigger. By the way, Todd, I hear that your father used to be a cop.
Yes, he's a retired police officer from New York City. Back in the 70s and 70s, I remember he was around there when Malcolm X was assassinated. I remember that, and Martin Luther King.
Well,
so it was 70s and 60s.
68 was King. Yeah.
Yes. And I chill with my dad on Christmas. I was going to chill with him on New Year's, but I had a bad fever, a real bad freaking fever when I was coming in town, and I thought I might have had the COVID, so then I kind of stayed away for a little bit because I'd rather die before doing anything to my father.
Right.
That's just the way I am.
Well, as I said,
and I'm adopted too. Gotta all remember that I'm adopted.
Well, I just want to remind people, you know, we had Tony's mother die, and
oh, really?
Possibly,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Possibly because the sister came over and used to give her a sponge bath every 3 days or so. And she came over one night and went home and then suddenly got sick. And it turns out she had COVID. And what happens is it's a perfect example of how people of the worst spreading areas, and that's in the homes. You know, because you feel that, oh, I'm home, I'm going to take care of mom, I don't need a mask, it's safe here. No, it's not. It's not safe because you're now in the bubble. Everybody. You go to a relative's house, keep that mask on, damn it.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
And you don't want anybody to die now because the point is that any day now you're going to get a shot in your arm and things are going to be better. Okay? Like Shecky said to me, he says, I'm not doing anything foolish right now. Not that we're down to the wire.
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, listen, there's our theme. Thank you, Jeff. Always appreciate it. If you weren't here, I wouldn't notice it was our show. Charlie Wall, same goes for you too. Alan, always good to have you here. Nice addition to the show. Brian has become a regular we really enjoy, as does Robert. Todd, whenever you can call, it's always a pleasure. Vernon Nunn. Terrific. Always terrific. Kevin, my old friend, love to see you there. And Brian, good having you on here tonight. Please call more often. John Larkin, glad to see you're up and about. And Ray Renati, that's it for you, Ray. That's all she wrote. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? Here we go. There we go. And there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel. They were all dumping out on me before I could dump out on them. Okay, they're gone now. Hey, listen, Jack Bishop is next with the intersection. He'll be doing it on Skype at Gabnet Live. That's the address you call, Gabnet Live. I'll be back again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. We have the sports show with the franchise MC, and then I'll be here at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Come on, it's not daylight yet, Bennett. Anyway, and in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And be safe out there. Wear a mask.